Hey guys, good evening and glad to see you here tonight. Thank you for jumping in. Thank you for joining me tonight. And as you gather in, be sure to let me know where you're watching from. And also tonight, I'd love for this time to be really interactive as we can talk and share about your day, ways that we can pray for you, lift you up, and encourage you. And then also, we are looking at going through our next steps after Rededicate 250. It's a great time to celebrate awakening and revival in the nations. And so we're just really believing the Lord tonight for a great night. So thank you for jumping in. Thank you for watching. And please let us know where you're watching from. I think I saw Mary Fuqua a moment ago. I saw a couple other people coming in, but I didn't get to see it quickly enough to be able to read the names, who they are. So please let me know who's joining us tonight, who's with us, and we love it when you join in and jump in for great conversation and time. I do have a couple of PowerPoints that I want to share with you tonight, a couple of little things that I want to share this evening from images. So let me do this right here. Let me go right here. Let me go ahead and do this like that. And so I'm going to start right there, I think is where I'm going to start. So delighted to have you tonight. And this is a dream that we have. This is a proposed vision for the first hub for Awakening Revival in Kentucky. This is the first one. This is the one that we're envisioning. We have already secured the property for this building right here, and we are going to begin to refurbish it. The layout of the building is pretty much like what you see. We're going to be making some changes to it and all of that, but we want to completely remodel it. And by the way, we're going to be hosting many local things all over the country for awakening and revival, gatherings, revivals, all of that kind of thing. But one of the things on my 10 top list for next steps after Rededicate 250 is number 8, create local awakening spaces and gatherings. And so that's what we're doing. Guys, look, we all know that the world that we're living in is dramatically shifting at a quantum speed. But what we must not do as the church, we must not lag behind. I'm afraid we already are, but we must not lag behind. But we must become serious about being innovative, being creative, and really being grassroots, reconnected with people. I think one of the things that people are missing so much today in church is a sense of real connection and connectivity. And so we really are a grassroots kind of people, and we love that. So we are doing a lot of things here on the Gulf Coast with what we're calling the Lantern Co., which is regional prayer gatherings that are that we want to connect people for prayer literally all over the world. And the Lantern Co. gives us an opportunity to connect globally with pastors, leaders, intercessors, prayer warriors, no matter where they are in the world. So we're doing a lot of that here on the Gulf Coast. We had a great gathering Sunday here at Encounter Church just yesterday. And so with Kentucky, we are going to be building, God willing, we're going to be building 12 hubs of revival all over Kentucky. Now, these are not going to be churches that we're going to pastor, obviously, but they're going to be kingdom houses for awakening and revival. And our vision, if you can see the little wall there on the right, you can see we're going to be a prayer board, and that is unique to the region of that meeting house. And we're just calling them all the meeting house. This is our first one. It's going to be the meeting house at Manchester, Kentucky. And we're going to be back up in Kentucky this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Lomansville over in eastern Kentucky, right near Paintsville. Prestonsburg area in the beautiful springtime mountains of eastern Kentucky. So we want to celebrate. We're excited about being with Pastor James Horn and the family and some incredible prayer warriors and intercessors right there in the eastern Kentucky area. So it's going to be a revival 3 nights. Friday, Saturday, all day Sunday. So make plans to join us. And then on Monday, a week from today, we will drive to Nashville, fly to Texas for a few days, but more of that later. So this is our vision. We're going to begin to multiply this vision across the country. But one of the things that we're doing right now is we're focused on this. This is our first one. And I never do this on any of my broadcasts, hardly. But I want to encourage you I want to ask you, would you be willing to partner with us? As you follow us here, follow us on our social media, all of that, we would love for you to partner with our ministry. And we would love that. And specifically, if you would like to sow into the first meeting house. Now, once we get the project done, then we'll post pictures and we're going to do classes and teachings and all of that at the center. It's going to be a prayer house. It's going to be a place already. We have rehab ministries that are meeting there. We're going to do outreaches out of the building. So it's really going to be a kingdom platform that we will make available to ministers with whom we are in relationship. So if you would love to sow into the very first meeting house, I put the Venmo link right there. Our ministry Venmo is just at Rick-Curry-14. I put the link right there on the screen where you can see that, but we would love to have you sow into this ministry, sow into a national and global awakening and revival. And so we're just super excited about that. I think the building kind of looks I think it really looks cool at this level. You can let me know what you think about it. Any design input that you may have. But even if you wanted to sow to help us buy paint or wall covering or chairs or supplies for it, we just would appreciate any contribution, any seed of any amount into this global awakening and revival. Now, I got a couple of things I want to jump into tonight. This is kind of where we ended up yesterday, but I want to come back here. This is the last slide of this is the last slide from our teaching that we did yesterday morning over here with Pastor Porter and his wife, Joe. Such a great time at Encounter Church. And I appreciated it because he really wanted to send the PowerPoint and the teaching we did out to many other pastors, and we appreciate that. So here's the deal. Here's where I'm at tonight. And this is the way we ended up our broadcast here last night. And that is, you can almost feel the sense of okay, that event is behind us. Now what's next? And I think many times we make a mistake right there. We error right there because we can look at something as remarkable and historical as what happened yesterday, but then we immediately classify it in our minds many times as an event that is now over. The mall, I'm sure, is put back together. People have gone home or gone on with their lives. And so that event, yes, in fact, is behind us historically. But is it behind us spiritually? Is it time that we answer the call? Answer the call to rededicate our lives, rededicate our families, rededicate our homes, our ministries, our churches, rededicate it to the Lord. Here's what I really believe. The next chapter of America will not merely be written in courts or in political campaigns or even cultural battles. But I believe, I have a hope, I have a great dream in my heart that it will be written in consecration, not in courts, not in legal battles, but the history, the future of our nation will be written by consecration. Men and women, again, who are willing to give of themselves, to sacrifice time and effort and energy to really make an impact in their generation, in their time. And so I believe it'll be written in consecration. It'll be written in covenant. And by that, I mean, it's time that we renew and restore, that we return to the covenant promise of God for our nation and for the nations of the earth. So wherever you're watching from, I encourage you to study the history of your own nation. I've been working on a class that I really felt I should entitle The Signature of Jesus. But you know what it's about? It's about Canada. It's about the unique signature of Jesus that rests upon Canada and the unique DNA that is Canada and the amazing leaders that are in Canada. And so what I would encourage you to do is study the history of your community. Study the history. Look, I know the history of my subdivision. We know builders that built this house. We know who they are. We know the development. I know the history of my city. I know the history of the state of Florida. I know the history of our nation, particularly in light of awakening and revival. Why is that? Well, because I have a deep conviction that the biblical truth is that Second Chronicles 7:14 is true. The president read that yesterday, right there on the mall at Washington, and guess what? The whole place erupted when President Trump started reading Second Chronicles 7:14. I'm just telling you, it's an amazing thing to have the president of the United States call for the healing of the land by repenting and turning back to God. You know what they were doing yesterday? They were renewing the covenant promise of God upon the land. And you may say, well, I don't really believe that at all. I'm sorry that you feel that way, and I'd love to have a conversation with you. You don't have to believe exactly how I believe, but surely you can join us in believing for America's best and boldest future, as well as all of the other nations. The future of America will be written in consecration and covenant and in communion. And so, guys, yesterday we took communion. My wife and I have communion ready tonight in our house. I encourage you to take communion. Communion brings us back to the bedrock of our faith. Many things Christians love to debate and argue about theologically, philosophically, practically. They just love to argue over the smallest stuff. I tell you what, I've never heard church people that I've pastored or people that we've ministered around the world in many nations. What I've never heard an argument about is the sacrament of the Lord's Supper. Now, people may do it different, practice it differently, some every week, some every day, some once or twice a year. But there is no debate about the sacrament of the Lord's Supper, the power of the bread and the wine, going back to the days of Abraham himself, being served communion by the great Melchizedek. So look, it's about a consecration, it's about covenant, and it's about communion. And then fourthly, it's about prayer and intercession. So that's how the future of our nation and the nations of the earth will be built. So I hope today that you prayed for your nation, just like we prayed for ours today. And so I want to take another moment and I want to look over those 10 items, but I'd love for somebody to comment down in the section. I'd love for someone to comment. Are there any of those first 10 items that we presented last night? Are there any of those things that maybe you did last night? Now, I'm sorry, I'm going to get this back. I'm going to see if I can enlarge this a little bit. So here are the 10 things that we established last night. Number one, build a personal altar. Have you done that? I mentioned last night a Christian neuroscientist that we've been listening to by the name of Dr. Lee Warren, and he's been such an encouragement to me. And so last night I shared with you how he teaches about doing a brain scrub, and it's just really a fascinating thing. And I used that last night as an illustration because he says he's a brain surgeon. And he says before he goes into surgery, any surgeon has to go through the whole scrub process. And he was sharing that process of cleansing their hands as they move into the gloves and the surgery. He said it takes 6 minutes. And but one of the things that I just loved that he shared was the reason that they do it is because I don't want what's on me to end up in my patient. And I just love that. And it's so applicable to our lives, to how we live. And so one of the things that we need to do is to rebuild a personal altar. Um, uh, you know, uh, uh, a family altar is only as effective as a personal altar. So I want to build a personal altar. So this morning I did a 6 minute brain scrub, but I did a 6 minute heart scrub. And by that, I mean, I just visualized myself cleansing my hands, but in fact, it was my heart that I was cleansing. I was asking the Lord to renew my thoughts, give me positive thoughts. One of the things that Dr. Warren says, and you can follow him on any social media platform, he's just a guy that I really love to listen to. But I love it when he talks about how that doing this brain scrub. And so when I do it from my heart, I do it from my mind, I do it from my mouth. And so this morning I was really praying that God would give us clean thoughts, good thoughts, positive thoughts, that today we would have thoughts of kindness and goodness and mercy, that we would be long suffering today, that we would be gentle today, that we would be right and righteous before the Lord, that we would be the people that God has called us to be. So, number one is build a personal altar. If you did that today, I'd love for you to share maybe your experience in the comment section. The second one was write your rededication covenant. Now, I have not done that. I began that, but I've not completed that. But I'm working on it. And I really believe that that is important. We've been sharing about Habakkuk, teaching that write the vision, make it plain. Look, there's a very high percentage. I'm not going to try to just recall from memory what that was, but if I'm not mistaken, it's greater than 75% of what we write down is more apt to become reality in our lives. So I want to do this rededication covenant. I pledge to you by the time we gather tomorrow night for a few moments, I will have that done in my own life. Thirdly, is establish a daily prayer rhythm. I tried to do that today. I hope you did. What I found is that if I wake up in the morning and I get my body into motion and I get my mind into check, my wife and I are very different. She can wake up in the morning and within 10 seconds, she's ready to go full bore into her day. Now, she loves to take deep times for worship and intercession that's personal and private. She's been one of the most consistent people I've ever known in my life for having that consistent personal altar. And I love that. But she can begin her day very quickly. Me, I wake up slow, guys. I'm just telling you. It takes me a while to get my brain, to get myself really activated. I wake up early, but I wake up early, but I begin to really feel like I'm getting it together more slowly. So I want to establish a daily rhythm. It's what I did this morning with a 6 minute prayer scrub, heart scrub. So I want to encourage you in the morning, take 6 minutes. Maybe you wake up like my wife, Jennifer. Maybe you wake up early and you're just like, I'm on for the day. Or maybe you wake up like me and you're like, what day is today? however you wake up, take 5 or 6 minutes and really ask the Lord to condition your heart, your mind, your body, and your spirit for the day that lays before you. Number four, number four is become a carrier, not a spectator. Look, many people want to debate politics in this nation or maybe other nations as well. I don't know. But we are fascinated in the United States with arguments over our politics. And politics generally are disgusting, but they are a necessary process in a democratic republic to bring us to the place where we elect those who will govern over us. And so it's a necessary process, but it's not always a pretty one. But what I want to encourage you is not to become a spectator, but to become, not to become, not to be just a spectator, but to become a carrier. I heard a minister online today from his sermon yesterday that from the pulpit, and it was quite a large church. I won't say the denomination because it just sounds like I'm being petty, and I don't want to be that. But he was talking about how the whole Rededicate 250 thing was just kind of a joke, and just really pouncing down on that hard. And I really, my heart kind of went out to him in a way, because I guarantee you he enjoys the 501c3 status that his church has, which allows all of the contributions to his church to be tax deductible for the business leaders and people in his church. I'm sure he appreciates that. But there was no seeming appreciation for the hope that America can turn a right path. And so become a carrier, not just a spectator. Number five, gather people immediately, gather them. I told you we were going to do this little broadcast every night this week. Why? Because I want to build a habit of gathering people. That's why we're doing the Lantern Co. If you want more information on that, I'd love to get you more information on the Lantern Co. That's why we're doing these prayer hubs in Kentucky. And we're doing similar things here on the Gulf Coast as well. So we're just excited about what the Lord is doing in our generation. But you got to gather people. Don't do life alone. Don't do life in an isolated place. Blessings to you, Lori, so much. Thank you for jumping in again tonight from Edmonton, and God bless you. Number seven, align your life with purpose. Ask where your gifts are. Look, let me just tell you this. We are in, right now as a family, we are in a place right now where we're making some really, really big decisions. And we don't want to make a decision just for a decision's sake. We want to make decisions that align with our gifts, our business, our ministry, our influence, our inspiration, our visions, and our dreams. That's how we must live. So I want to encourage you, to allow the Lord to move mightily in your life, and ask him today to align your life with his divine purposes. He releases your purpose for transformation and assignment. Number 8 is disciple the next generation. Look, I want to encourage you to bless young people around you, bless young families, bless young couples, bless college students. Maybe you know a college student you need to send a gift to, send a card to, send a text to. Say, hey, I got you on my mind. I'm praying for you today. Begin to learn how to take every opportunity to disciple the next generation. Number 9 is create local awakening spaces. I showed you a moment ago this awakening space that we're creating in Kentucky. It's going to be the first of 12 hubs that we're going to build out. And these are going to become kingdom platforms where we will allow ministers that we're connected with to come in and host meetings. We'll do teachings, podcasts, video teachings, prayer gatherings, worship nights, all of those things, as we're going to begin to build out not just individual full functioning churches like that, but this is a different concept. And we're laying it out there, and we're just believing that there are people that are gathering in homes tonight that really need to become a meeting house for the glory of God in global revival. And again, I put a little link down there. If you would love to sow strictly into the meeting house, our ministry is a fully accredited 501c3 organization here in the U.S. And all of your contributions to our ministry are fully tax deductible if that matters to you. But I want you to know that we have Venmo and Cash App. Our Venmo is just Rick-Curry-14 for the ministry. The link is right there. So if you'd say, hey, I'd like to sow into some paint or sow into some chairs, or maybe somebody saying, look, I'd like to sow into that bulletin board. We're going to literally build a bulletin board like that in each of the meeting houses, wherever we do them, because they're going to become representative of the needs of that regional area. You follow me? And then we're going to connect meeting house to meeting house so that we're helping each other carry the glory of the Lord into each of our regions. So let's go back to this other. We're almost done tonight. I wanted to just jump on here for a moment. So create local spaces. Create spaces where, and it may be your home. It may be your home where you invite people to come over. And, maybe we're doing a class one night. Maybe we're going to do a teaching one night. And you'd like to invite some people over to your house. Project it up on the TV, watch it together, pray together, connecting the world for global awakening and revival. And then last, number 10, it sounds little, but it's really a big thing. And that is, we must have a faith-filled persistence because it matters. We need to refuse cynicism, reject cynicism, and begin to allow the faith in your heart to be mobilized afresh for the glory of the Lord in our generation. So look, I wanted to go over those things again tonight. I'm doing them. I'm writing them down in my journal. I've already told you, I'm going to have my declaration for rededication. I'm going to have that completed by tomorrow night, because I just don't want to have good meetings or good events. We want to move from glory to glory to glory. We do that best as a family, do that best as a team. And this coming weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we've been to Lomansville before, but we were just there for a very short time. We get to be in Lomansville, Kentucky, over near Paintsville, right near Prestonsburg, Kentucky. We get to be there all weekend long, Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. And if you're anywhere near the area, then for sure, please come out and be with us. And if you're not anywhere in the area, you could probably leave right now and meet us over there, and it would be a remarkable time. Hey guys, thanks for jumping in tonight. Guess what? I'm praying for you. I'm praying for our followers. I'm praying for our partners in ministry. Thank you for sowing. Thank you for seeing everything we do like this. You'll never find, I need to do it, to be honest with you, because there are times we need to sow into the ministry. But you won't see me on my Facebook hardly ever put up a link for giving or something like that. Some people have like a list this long. It's like, wow, you can send it by carrier pigeon. It's like, I don't even know there are that many ways to give. But what I'm saying to you is you need to become a carrier, not a spectator. And so I encourage you to sow. Maybe you want to sow in one of these meeting houses that we're going to begin to build. So maybe you'd like to sow through Venmo or Cash App, however you need to do it. Many people internationally will sow through Zelle. Maybe that's a way you can do that as well. But Maybe you'd like to sow into one meeting house and say, I want to sow $100 or $1,000, whatever it is, into a meeting house. Because when you do, you're sowing into sustainable global awakening and revival. So, guys, thank you for jumping in tonight. Hold on. Right now, when I'm getting ready to hang up, it's like people start commenting. Thank you so much. He said, yes, I had people meeting at my house this week to begin prayer groups and learning to disciple within the community. I have communion and bread to start off with. Jamie, I love that. I love that so much. And look, I do thank you for doing that. That is really remarkable. And look, if we had 1,000 homes that we could connect that are doing that right there, I'm telling you, we could begin to see many great major shifts and changes. So, Jamie, I'd love to connect with you more on that. Any way that we can help you. I mean, just provide you resources, teachings, materials, encouragement, whatever. You let us know. Send me a message, write it on here. Tell me how we can pray for your group. Tell me what night they're meeting, and we'll be praying for your group. Hey, guys, thank you so much for jumping on tonight. There's Jeremy Caverly, my good friend. They had their outreach trailer stolen last weekend. So we need to pray and believe God that up in Ohio, the Lord's going to upgrade their trailer. Hey guys, thanks for jumping in tonight. God bless you guys. Let's stay in touch. There's the 10. Let's go do them. God bless you guys.